They mocked the small human until their apex predator called him brother. Humans were small, fragile, laughable. At least the Zarn, the dominant warrior species of the now Carry cluster. On the jungle world of D-Ravik-9, a war game was held every 7 cycles. Tribes from across the stars sent their champions to test themselves in the blood arena against each other and against the beasts that roamed the obsidian ravines. The humans were invited once, just once, as a diplomatic gesture. They sent Corporal Mason Reese, a lean, unassuming man from Earth's lunar colonies. Mason stood a head shorter than the smallest Zarn soldier. His arms looked like twigs beside their bulk. His weapons were simple, his armor light. He arrived alone. No honor guard. No fanfare. Just a quiet nod as he signed the war roster. The others laughed. Did Earth run out of real warriors? One Zarn sneered. Don't blink, or the jungle will eat him before the match begins, howled a saurian from the Grauk Syndicate, his triple jaw snapping in mockery. Mason said nothing. He merely sat cross-legged near the fire pit that night, sharpening his blade. A blade so old it looked ceremonial. The mocking stopped the next day, because that was when Rekshar, the apex beast of D-Ravik-9, escaped its containment. Rekshar was not a creature bred by any species. It was discovered, a native terror of the planet. Its 4 eyes burned crimson, its body cloaked in shadow and scale, its roar capable of disrupting neural implants. The creature was not part of the games. It was kept caged in the mountains as a symbol of power, a myth come alive, until it broke free. It tore through a dozen contestants in minutes. The air filled with screams and the wet thump of bodies. Most warriors fled. The bravest tried to fight, only to die messily. Mason? He ran toward the roar. He found Rekshar in the black glade, surrounded by corpses, wounded from crossfire but still deadly. It looked at Mason. Mason looked back. He knelt, slowly, without raising his weapon. "Hey!" he whispered, his voice low and calm. "Easy now. You're hurting, aren't you?" The beast snarled, a sound that could shatter bone, but it did not lunge. Mason unfastened his armor's chest plate and exposed his bare hands. He reached into his satchel, pulled out a field medkit. "I've patched up worse," he muttered. "Don't make me chase you." That moment became legend, because instead of mauling him, Rekshar lowered its massive head. Mason treated its wounds. And when the game officials arrived, armed with stun cannons and explosives, they found the apex predator standing guard over the human like a sentinel. The others thought it was some trick. Beast tamer tech. The Zarn accused. You implanted a controlled chip. Mason tossed the medkit at their feet. Just gauze and biofoam. You think I had time to rig a neural bridle? They demanded proof. So Mason walked into the pit again, this time with Rekshar beside him. No chains, no muzzle. In the next trial, contestants were told to survive the jungle run. No one dared come near the path Mason took. Where he walked, the foliage bent. The predators stayed hidden. When a Grauk's team ambushed him, Rekshar erupted from the trees like a missile, tearing them limb from limb before Mason gave a quiet whistle. It stopped instantly and returned to his side. That's when they stopped calling him weak and started calling him the Beast Brother. High Warlord Kator, leader of the Zarn tribe, confronted Mason after the final trial. "You've bonded with a living weapon," Kator growled. "That is no warrior's path. That is sorcery." Mason stared up at the 8-foot titan. "I treated a wounded creature. I didn't command it. I earned its trust." Kator stepped closer. "Then fight me. Prove you are not just a parasite hiding behind fangs and claws." The arena filled with cheers. Mason shrugged. "Your funeral." He walked into the ring. Rekshar remained behind, watching, silent. The fight began. Kator struck like a thunderclap. Mason dodged, rolled, struck back with a blow to the knee. The Zarn laughed until Mason swept his leg, brought him down, and jabbed a stun dart into his throat. The crowd gasped as the warlord convulsed and fell. Mason turned to Rekshar. That was for you. The beast rumbled, not in threat, in approval. From that day, everything changed. The Zarn offered Mason honorary tribal markings. He refused. Rekshar and I are going back to Earth. You've got plenty of warriors. You don't need another one. But Rekshar followed him to the landing pad. When asked why the apex predator chose a small human over at home jungle, the Zarn priestesses could only whisper. The beast saw him not as prey but as kin. And before the ship lifted off, Rekshar pressed his enormous forehead to Mason's chest and spoke. Not in words, but in raw psionic emotion. Brother, the galaxy never mocked humanity again.